So I have a really cool tape to show you today. This is a network television broadcast of Amityville 3D from October of 1989 with all of the original TV commercials still left intact. There is a lot of good stuff on this tape. So in this video, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the movie and a lot about the commercials that aired during it. Amityville 3D was also known as Amityville the Demon, and it's that name that was used for most TV broadcasts, which obviously weren't in 3D. Of course, it was still pretty easy to pick out which shots were meant to be in 3D. So Amityville 3D, that was hardly a big hit even when it came out in 1983. So by 1989, it was not a movie that you were going to see on one of the big networks. That's why it aired on WWOR-TV, a New York, New Jersey local station that I simply knew as Channel 9. Okay, so I know most of you did not grow up with WWOR-TV, so I will explain it. This was not ABC. This wasn't even CBS. WWOR was kind of like the Sears of network television. It didn't have a strong identity, and a lot of it was pretty boring, but if you were patient, you would eventually strike gold.
From now on, your Saturday night will be a real scream.
So all of that is the long way of saying that this was not NBC's Sunday Night at the Movies. It was not a major thing. This was a pretty low-level event. But I still think it would have qualified as WWOR's idea of a Halloween special in 1989. Now let's put Amityville 3 aside for the moment, because what I am really aiming to do in this video is tell you about the commercials that aired during it. Since this was a smaller network running a pretty unpopular horror movie against stuff like the Golden Girls and Mr. Belvedere, the commercials were kind of on the cheap side.
Fabulous 19-inch Panasonic color TV, microwave oven, or VCR.
Like, it wasn't often that you would find the 1-minute spot for Craftmatic adjustable beds in prime time.
Hello, I'd like to receive your free catalog and 50% information by mail.
Certainly, sir.
So the pickings were slim, but I did manage to find 5 commercials that I thought were worth talking about. Let's start with one for an auto repair chain. Not something I'd normally be into, but this one stars none other than Mr. Unsolved Mysteries himself, Robert Stack.
Amityville the Demon, starring Tony Roberts and Tess Harper, will return after these messages.
Before you choose a body shop to paint your car, ask a few questions. Do they care about the environment as much as your car?
Hi, Mr. Pressman. The Taurus is all set.
Will the work be done at your convenience?
Okay, we'll see you at 1.
Are they preferred by corporations nationwide for dependability and service? And do they back their word?
And any problem?
In writing?
Great, I will.
If you don't know, you better get Mako.
It's so weird to me that they got Robert Stack to do this commercial and they didn't lean into the Unsolved Mysteries thing at all. Like, you would expect them to come up with some eerie spin on car repair, but nope, he's just smiling and talking about money-back guarantees. I don't get it. On the other hand, I loved Unsolved Mysteries so much that even a plain Jane, happy-go-lucky Robert Stack, he still had my complete attention. And when you can get 10-year-old me invested in a Mako commercial, I guess you've done something right.
If you don't know, you better get Mako.
Okay, also during the commercial breaks were lots of spots for upcoming horror movies, which of course made sense because if you were watching Amityville 3D on a Saturday night in 1989, you probably liked horror movies.
Speaker was put to death.
There was a spot for Shocker, the Wes Craven directed film about a killer who survives his execution to come back as, I don't know, electricity or something. It's a weird movie, but it does have its fans.
Shocker. Rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
Then there was a spot for The Phantom of the Opera, meaning the 1989 version starring Robert Englund.
Robert Englund was Freddy. Now he is the Phantom of the Opera.
I love how the pitch for this movie was basically, hey, remember Robert Englund from the Elm Street movies? Well, we up his face again. Come check it out.
Best. Phantom of the Opera, the motion picture. Rated R. Starts Friday at a theater near you.
I think my favorite of the horror movie trailers, though, oddly enough, was for the movie with the least amount of clout in 2022. Check out this spot for Stepfather 2. It goes pretty hard.
Find a wife to call your own. Give the kids a happy home.
Stepfather 2.
On Friday, November 3rd.
God, that is a really, really good TV spot. I have to be honest, I think that TV spot is better than the movie, so kudos to whoever put it together. I was a pretty young kid still in 1989, so if I was not careful, these little horror trailers that were peppered around television, they could destroy me.
A Nightmare on Elm Street 5. The Dream Child.
The party's just started.
Rated R.
All right, before we get back to the commercials, I think we should check in on Amityville 3D. Okay, you know what? I don't care what anybody says. That is a good movie. Next for my commercial selects, we have a bunch of exotic women.
Exotic women. Meet someone special. Meet someone different. Exotic women. Dial 1-900-446-4000 for the real names and phone numbers of exotic women who want to meet men now. Exotic women for dating, relationships, marriage. Exotic women. Dial 1-900-446-4000 for real names and phone numbers of women who want to hear from you. Exotic women. Dial 1-900-446-4000. Just $2 the first minute, $1 each additional. Adults only, please.
So the hotline craze of the 80s and 90s was wild in general, but when we're talking about the steamy, sexy hotlines, that was just an insanely huge business. And it's hard to understand in the internet age, but some people got so into those hotlines that it completely crossed over into outright addiction.
Want to meet men now.
This exotic women TV spot that I'm showing you, it was actually pretty tame compared to some of the others that I've dug up. I have found sex hotline ads that are too risque to even put on YouTube.
And we could talk about anything. I mean anything.
Back then, you really could not watch TV late at night without seeing these commercials. I mean, network television had a few, but if you went on cable, I swear there were times where you would get 4 in a row during a 2-minute break.
Experience the excitement that an intimate phone adventure can give you. Come on, call us. We know how to make those lonely hours more fun.
All right, the next commercial I'm going to show you, to be honest, it's kind of a dud, but I have a lot of memories wrapped up in this, so please just indulge me. This is a TV spot for Pergament.
Now there's a grand opening sale at all Pergament stores celebrating the new Westbury store. But here are some people who come to Pergament, whether there's a sale or not.
The sales are terrific.
Fantastic. Some more for variety here. Prices are beautiful.
People are very courteous. I love this place. It's huge. I like the quality here.
It's great. Now all stores have grand opening prices on Norwal pre-pasted washable wallpaper.
I built half my house from this store.
They got the best prices in town.
Nobody could beat them.
We come here every Friday. But today's Wednesday. We couldn't wait until Friday.
Amityville the Demon, starring Tony Roberts and Tess Harper, will return after these messages.
Okay, Pergament. That was a chain of home improvement stores. They were kind of like the perfect midpoint between a strip mall hardware store and a giant Home Depot. We had one nearby when I was a kid, and my father lived at that place. He was always remodeling something, so I would say he spent about 37 hours a week at Pergament, and I was very often forced to tag along. You know, time definitely moves slower when you're a kid, and I have so many awful memories of being stuck in Pergament with my father while he debated between different screws or whatever. And that 30 minutes would feel like friggin' 8 months. The one bright side was that Pergament was right next door to our old Toys R Us. So if I was really lucky, I might have gotten a new real Ghostbusters figure or something out of the whole thing.
Peter Venkman, Ectoplasm, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and other figures each sold separately. Ghostbusters, new from Kenner.
Alright, it looks like we're up to my last commercial, and to be honest, I had a lot of trouble picking this one. Like, I could have went for the easy nostalgia points by showing you the TurboGrafx 16 spot.
TurboGrafx 16 from NEC, the higher energy video game system.
Or I could have went for a big wow moment by showing you this giant alien Laserdisc player. But instead I think I'm going to go with English muffins.
None of us will forget that morning. I joined my chums as I, too, was jolted by the news. Mr. Thomas had moved his bake shop to America.
What's going on, Jack?
No more would we have his English muffins with nooks and crannies and melted butter to sustain us through our dreary day. University without nooks and crannies? It was yet another cross for England to bear.
Thomas's English muffins. For over 100 years, England's breakfast tradition in America's hands.
Okay, I love English muffins. I've always loved English muffins. I used to eat them constantly as a kid. But what's weird to me is that I don't remember even once buying them for myself as an adult. They're on that strange list of foods that you grow up loving, but then just completely forget about when you start buying your own groceries. So I took that commercial as a sign that I needed to go buy myself some English muffins, and I did. So thank you all for sticking with me while I sorted all of this out. They're still amazing. They haven't lost a step. Let's check in on Amityville 3D. You know, it might not be a conventionally great movie, but I like it. I mean, it ends with this, like, fish demon dragging some guy to hell.
Get up! Save yourself!
And the idea that you could see a movie like that on network television on a Saturday night, God, it's just such a lost art. Like, I love all of the choices we have today, but there was a certain comfort in being stuck with whatever a few different networks decided to give you. Let's be real about this. How many people were going to sit through a TV edit of Amityville 3D unless they only had like 4 or 5 other options?
Let him know that you're here.
This is not the first video I have done in this style, and it won't be the last, so if you are into this sort of thing, stay tuned. More are always coming. But for now, thanks for watching this video, and I don't know, have a good night.
Coming up on Channel 9 News in just a moment, 15 people are shot at a Brooklyn party. 7 Meadowlands security guards are charged with abusing Grateful Dead fans, and angry words between President Bush and Nicaraguan leader Daniel Ortega. Plus, a new subway stop at Roosevelt Island. Join us in just a moment.
Tonight, the man of your dreams is here. Freddy Krueger, the deadly demon who brought havoc to Elm Street, is now on Channel 9. If it's suspense you seek and horror you hope for, then watch out. Freddy's Nightmares is coming tonight at 11:30.